So over the past bunch of years, you've definitely been seeing more and more people use the tripod for more than just putting their binos on or their spotting scope on. They're a really versatile piece of equipment for shooting off of, using for front support, rear support. And you see that they clamp really quickly into an Arca Rail. You can go put a tack table on it. There's lots of different options. So today we're going to go through and take a look at all the different uses for a tripod and how you get the most use out of your tripod. My favorite way to shoot off the top of a tripod is to lock it directly into the Arca Rail. Usually when I set up my tripod with my rifle, I try to set it up right around that same point I use for my balance point. So usually, a couple inches in front of the mag well. This allows me to set it up there. I'll kind of bring it around and I can control the lever here to get on the target, and then I can lock it down, close my bolt, and make my shot. I like to have the legs pointed towards the back when you can do this. It seems to help that recoil mitigation and make sure it tracks straight back. If you do have it offset like it is right now, you might find that it kind of jumps sideways a little bit under recoil. So I find sometimes when you're in a match situation or even on a hunting situation, say if you're hunting coyotes or something like that, you need to be a little faster on setup or even transitioning from one target to another target. Throwing it on a bag is quite a bit faster. So I just go and take a bag, my game changer here, just flop it right over top of the head, set it down there, and drop the gun on it. So you don't have to worry about clamping the rifle in this way. It allows you to really pivot quickly by not having to unlock the gun at all, and it's a great option for that. Another option for shooting off the top, if you want just a little bit more stability, I find, is you can go and drop a tack table on. Tack table is just basically a little bit of a larger platform that locks in via Arca onto your head, and then you drop your bag on top of that. Super simple, easy thing to use, gives you lots of purchase on there, and is kind of handy too. It's one of the great options you can use for when you're doing, say, a field match. Utilize it to, take some notes on, write on, and then still also use it to shoot off of too. Probably one of the other most popular uses for a tripod, and especially a PRS situation, is going to be for rear support by utilizing it against the back of your rifle here. Few things to make sure you do when you set up a tripod like this. I try to keep my head as tensioned, as tight as I possibly can. I want to be able to lift my tripod up and have all my legs stay out. This is really going to help when you do start transitioning and make sure that tripod doesn't collapse on you. One of the other things I make sure I do when I set up my tripod, or try to set up my tripod, is have this apex anywhere from like 18 to 2 feet above the buttstock here. This gives me enough room to really get in or behind the gun and make sure that my shoulder's not going to be bumping stuff on the other side. I got enough room to move around. One thing we always say is, if you've never used a tripod, don't try it for the first time at a match. You're almost for sure going to screw it up. So it does take quite a bit of practice, and just getting used to how to utilize it, and even how to flow through a stage to make sure it doesn't collapse on you when you do move. So to get the most out of your tripod for the rear support there, you're going to want to grip around the leg of the tripod, and then kind of use the fatty area of your hand up underneath your buttstock. This gives you enough, kind of flex your hand a little bit to really do that micro adjustments to get on that target and let you to stay on that target quite easily. A few things to be aware of. For example, right now I've got to shoot downhill quite a bit, so I actually have to pull my tripod in more so I can get higher on this. That's why that practice is really important, to understand where that tripod needs to be at, where your body needs to be at in that tripod, and making sure that you aren't, say for example, coming off of 2 legs and now you only have 1 leg you're sitting on, right? So now it's just swinging around here, kind of dancing and really doing nothing good for you. Making sure you understand that, and like I said, get lots of practice with it. And it's a lot of fun to practice with. Obviously a tripod is not going to be useful in every situation. I personally And I've seen most other people will use it for, you know, smaller targets or for wobblier barricades or just really uncomfortable positions, kind of like the, you know, half bent position or super low kneeling positions, where it's just really hard to get that stability. Utilizing the tripod for rear support really helps with that setup. So usually when you start a stage, you have to have everything in hand. So usually I start with my gun in my hand in my right hand and my bag in my left hand. Now when I have to start with a tripod in my hand, I'll put my bag and my gun in my left hand, and I'll have my tripod in my right hand. So this will help me go a little faster. So let's try and run this real quick and see how it goes. And engage. So I'll come up here, I'll set the gun down like I normally do, start to acquire my target, bring my tripod in, so I kind of have a pretty good idea where it needs to be at. I'm gonna be on target here. So there's a handful of ways you can get the most out of your tripod. Make sure you get out and practice them, because you definitely don't want to do it for the first time in the match.